This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and this will probably be the last recording I'll do for E3 this year. I said I was going to do 5 videos, and this is number 5, so yeah. This is it. And why not leave on a high note? So, interesting thing happened this E3. We got a shit ton of great games as normal. Well, not as normal, because there's some years where E3 can be kind of blah. Just that's the way it is. You know, not every year is a stellar year, but I think this year has been a stellar year as far as the content that we've seen. One of the things that has been kind of cool to see, though, is the rise of female protagonists, which has been, I have to tell you, the most entertaining thing for me this E3. I didn't put this as one of my most memorable moments, but I probably should have. Like, the fucking tears of anguish that people had at the fact that we're going to have to play as females as the main protagonists of some major franchises. In particular, The Last of Us 2 and Gears of War. It's just hilarious. And there were some shots thrown at Beyond Good and Evil 2, even though the original Beyond Good and Evil, which people swear is a cult classic, featured a female protagonist as the lead. And you know, Tomb Raider's been out there. Tomb Raider's very celebrated, yet people are screaming that the social justice warriors are out and trying to make us want to be women in games and stuff like that. In particular with The Last of Us, not only do they want you to be a woman, but they're having you be a woman who apparently is homosexual. Oh, 2 strikes. Then you have the 2 strikes of stuff like Beyond Good and Evil, where not only are you a woman, but you're a woman of color. Ooh, scary stuff. And people were railing and going off on this, but I was sitting there laughing and sniping at them because, again, this goes to my whole narrative about how gamers need to grow up. Society needs to grow up too. We should be well beyond the idea and scope that everything is a quote-unquote man's job. And this is including gaming. This is the thing that kills me the most about gaming, is that as much as I love gaming, I recognize what it is. This is fantasy. This is not reality. Yes, they do some very realistic things in gaming, and they can tap into some very real emotions. But at the end of the day, it's like any movie, anything, any medium of entertainment. They're trying to tell you a story and share something with you and hope that you enjoy it. Should it matter whether it's a male or female? Now, I understand for women it's a big deal, because it's kind of like I tell people when they always tell me, why is it a big deal when you get the first black this or the first black that? It's because it's something that, as a group that's considered a minority, or that's not, you know, considered equal in the eyes of another, it's very, very uplifting to be able to identify with someone from your own background and culture or race, sex, however, when you're engaging in things. Like, to see a strong woman like Lara Croft go through the shit that she goes through, and Lara goes through a lot of, Lara Croft is probably the hardest of the hardcore when it comes to gaming. I have never seen a character go through some like shit like she had and come through to tell the tale. She's a G. But it's cool for a young lady to see that, because it gives the impression that, hey, I'm not just relegated to predefined stereotypes of what a woman should be or what a woman should do or how they should act, things like that and so on. And it can encourage them, like, to get involved into different things. Like, seeing a lot of female characters can help build a lot of great female writers and developers within the gaming community, which it would be a cool thing. You know what I mean? Encourage women to get into this. Definitely. It's just like with Black Panther, how Shuri showed a very highly intelligent young black lady who is considered the smartest of the smart and is a cool person at the top of that. And it's like, yo, it makes young women want to be as smart as Shuri or as powerful as Okoye. things like that. And it's the same thing when you see other things, you know, when you see strong male black leads, it encourages them. And I think the reason why these people rail is because the people who generally rail about these are the people who never really have to experience this. And it's sad to say this, but hey, real is real. It's generally white males. If you're a white male, in particular in the United States, there's not much that you want for. You generally have been, you know, in position to where seeing a white male superhero ain't a thing because that's common. Seeing a successful white businessman ain't a thing because that's common. Seeing a white male scientist get it awarded ain't a thing because that's common. It's a commonplace thing. So the, you know, blowback partially is because of ignorance. You're ignorant of that feeling of what it means to actually not be put in a pre-designated place. Because women, people of color, and people of different sexualities all are always placed in this lower position below white males. And that we are seeing these people being put in prominent positions, even if it's just in some fictional entertainment medium, is great and should be encouraged. Because hey, women can do things that men can do. You know, it's not like it's a new reality. And that's why I find it very odd, especially from gamers, because it's the same thing I say about my fellow African Americans when it comes to things as far as sexuality and issues with women. Having been put in a position where you're looked upon as lesser than the quote unquote majority or the cool crowd, like gamers, you would think gamers would be able to identify with why this is such a cool thing, because especially like coming from where I came from in like the early 80s through now, where gaming has progressed from just being this thing that nerds and shut-ins do, people who are never going to get sex in their lives and stuff like that. You know, that was the thing. You were like some geeked out dude who couldn't like even fathom a chance of being in a relationship because all you were going to have was your video games and whatever other nerd shit that you were into. To where like you have all types of people from all walks of life, you know, huge celebrities, athletes, things like that, engaging in this as their favorite pastime. And now it's become more accepted. You're no longer the pariah. And you would think that having gone through the evolution of being that, you know, person at the bottom and then getting up, you would want to help other people elevate to that level. And that's what bothers me really about that, is that, yo, you should encourage women to get into this. Game is fucking cool as fuck. Yo, how many of us would, and be honest, how many of us who play a lot of games would wish our women would be into this thing? Wouldn't it be cool to like date someone who develops games? Hell yeah, fuck it would be. Like, that's why I don't understand, why is it this like all of a sudden blowback about having to play as a woman? No, encourage this. Encourage being a woman, a black person, you know, a homosexual person in games, because we want more people to come and make different games, different like show different facets, different assets, different aspects of society and games. As I've said many times before, gaming is beyond what it was with just being just like this crazy weird pastime that only, again, nerds and shut-ins played just to like be immersed in a fantasy world, or just to just play a kid's like thing. Gaming is a piece of art form now. Gaming is a piece of expression. Gaming is a piece of entertainment that has a huge sway now, and we should utilize it to its fullest and open the doors to other people to enjoy, not just the quote-unquote stereotypical gamer crowd, but to all walks of life, everybody, women included, homosexuals included, people of color included, and represent them in these games, and not be mad when they're represented. Because this is the thing, you keep pointing it out when most of these companies aren't necessarily doing it just to be pointing out. They're trying to present cool and interesting ways of doing games, and they do want to be inclusive. They definitely do want to be inclusive because it's good for business. At the same time, sometimes the story dictates and demands that you have certain characters, and it works better, and you have to acknowledge that. Stop thinking that there's this ulterior motive to manipulate you into accepting the fact that women are able to do things, or there's homosexuality. Nobody's trying to force that on you. The fact of the matter is, you can't force what's already there. This is life. This is part of reality as it is anyway. And it can be a part of fantasy as well. So, I don't understand why you're tripping. Celebrate the diversity that's coming in gaming and be happy. Be happy for those who haven't had that in their lives. That's the thing. And again, sorry if it feels like I'm banging on white males, but that's the thing, again, that bothers me. And that's the thing too, again, I've said this earlier in this video, that bothers me about my culture, African Americans. Don't you want somebody to feel as good as you do about their lives? Why do you need to keep someone below you all the time? Are you that fragile? Are you that fucked up? Are you that unhappy that the only thing that makes you feel good about yourself is that you have something like one up, quote unquote, on somebody else? That's childish. That's selfish. You should want everybody to be successful, happy, and excited about things. And I just hope that this year is like that year where we get propelled to a level where we don't have to hear this dumb social justice warrior talk ever again that bleeds through communities as a whole, but gaming in particular. Because it's, again, I said this before, what's wrong wanting to fight for social justice? How is that a bad thing? Equality, like, yuck. You want equality, you want equity and equality and, you know, fair treatment and all that shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? People, I swear, are just so dumb. Anyway, as always, feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Makers and I'm out. Deuces.